It's Money Monday. Welcome again to our team call. We're so glad you're with us. We are already at 94 participants. Let's see in the next few minutes if we can bump that up to 100. We have today a training by Michael Huggins. We are so lucky and grateful to have Michael in our midst. And when I say in our midst, I mean that literally. He goes all over the country to be at our events, to help and encourage and mentor people all over how to make their business better, how to get the most out of their life. He is a walking, talking example of how to apply self-improvement in our lives and make that mighty change. He is mighty change in corporate, and this morning he's with us to help us change our lives and make them even better. Money Michael, good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning,
Good.
Ron. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Money Monday. We are going to get started. Thank you very much, Ron. Okay, you guys know
505269.
5069.
Yes.
Yes.
Leiden Street.
All right, Layden, mute your phone.
I don't know my email.
Mute your phone. All right. Francisco. There we go. Okay, perfect. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're at 98 folks. We start. And there's 100. Folks online means we start. All right. It's a beautiful day, Money Monday, just getting started. There we go. Okay, uno más. Uno más. There we go. Okay, let's get started. Welcome to the call, everyone. Today, we're going to talk about the flow, how to get into a flow. When you can work and flow, it doesn't feel like work. So how do we stay in our flow? I'm going to give you a couple ideas that have been working for me, and then we're going to talk about them and make sure you're implementing them. So first, when we're putting out our ads and we're making our funnels, so we have our ad, right? Whether it's sign, a drop card, Facebook, Craigslist, whatever, doesn't matter. We have our ad. Then they call it. Now the key in calling it is that we have some sort of filtering. Okay, guys, remember, turn your videos off when you come into the room. Thank you. All right, so we're going to have they call, and we got to have some sort of filter. So here's what we have. I have a voicemail, got a text, and we run our script. Now remember, in the voicemail is going to be the first level of filtering. That's the word. We want to filter or sort. Right, so we're going to be clear in our voicemail. Things like, this is not a job. You know, we're not hiring. You got to be an entrepreneur. We're looking for people that have 100% responsibility. You know, we have this filtering thing. We're looking for someone to work, 10 hours a week minimum. Got to be a team player, right? You just list out the qualities and everything and clarify so that you're not spending hours and hours a day talking to people who think it's a job. You're gonna be so happy to use these filtering mechanisms. So have a voicemail greeting. Here's what I'll do real quick. I'm gonna play my voicemail greeting from one of my ads so you guys can listen to it. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna call it, put it on speakerphone, and you can listen to it. Speakerphone.
Hello, and thank you for calling. You've reached Nick and Brittany with Team Elevate Denver, one of the area's leading real estate investing communities. Our team is expanding, and we are looking for the right candidates to bring into our training program. This opportunity is perfect for those that have always wanted to invest in real estate and don't know how to get started, or those without deep pockets who want to invest using other people's money. And it's also for those who are serious about real estate investing, but need to do it in their spare time. To be clear, this opportunity is not a job. It is not get rich quick anything, and it is not a do nothing get paid gig. We have a 3-step qualifying process to make sure we're fit to be in business together. The first step is a phone consultation. If you're ready for step 1, simply leave your name, phone number, and the best time to reach you for a 10-minute call. Thank you, and make it an excellent day.
So we're putting some instructions in there too, saying, all right, if you're ready for step 1, right? So it's you tell them we got a 3-step process. Step 1 is a phone call. So if you're ready for step 1, right? If you're ready for step 1, leave your number, leave your name, and then we make our phone call. So you want to have some sort of filtering. I, at one point, didn't have filtering and was going a little bit crazy calling all these people who were hoping for a job, and it doesn't work like that. So now on the phone call, a couple major points. You got to ask. You got to ask. Point number 1 is, right, it's a series of questions, but first is, what got you interested? Either in my ad or in real estate in general. What got you interested? Okay, and write it down. Put it in your notes somewhere. Track it, record it. What got them interested? Then, what do you do for a living? So instead of saying, where do you work? Because maybe they don't like the company they're working for, that's why they're calling you. But what do you do for a living? Right? Again, it doesn't really matter where they work. We want to know either what do you do for a living, or another way of asking is, what is your skill set? Right? What are you good at? What do you get paid to do right now? What is your skill set? Okay? And again, write down the answer, keep it. You're going to need it later on. Now, once we get this information, the next step, right, we're just stepping them through the process. The next step is going to be an invitation. We're going to invite them to an event. It might be online, might be live. Remember, if people are expecting real estate and you invite them to Super Saturday, their expectations are not going to be lined up. Do not disturb. There we go. Okay, so proper expectations is a major key. Proper expectations. Think about you, if you went to a meeting and they said, hey, it's this, and then you walked in and it's that. Do you have any trust with them? No. So make sure you're telling them exactly what it is. Now, I know some people have a little bit of trepidation and fear, and they're like, well, if I tell them what it is, then they won't show up. Right? If I tell them what it is, then they won't show up. Well, if you tell them what it is and they won't show up, then they're not the right people. Totally fine. I'd rather have 2 people show up that are the right people then 100 guests show up that are not the right guests. So proper expectations, professionalism. Okay, this is a sign of professionalism. It's a sign of respect. So make your invitation and let them know what the heck it is. Now, in your conversations, we're also going to be asking them, and this could be sub-question 3. We're going to be asking them, what is their passion? Just briefly, what are you passionate about? Right? Nothing difficult, nothing elaborate. Just what are you passionate about? And then to get clear on where their mindset is, I'll ask them, in the next 12 months, how much money do you want to earn? What are you passionate about? How much money do you want to earn over the next 12 months? How many hours per week are you willing to put in? Okay. And then in order to hit your goals, how much time are you planning on giving yourself to do this? Let's say you want to have 100 units and, 3 other businesses and whatever it is that they want. All right, how much time are you going to give yourself to do this? The reason being, how much time are you willing to give yourself to do this? Now, why we need to ask that question is because they need to give themselves proper expectations. There's a principle we understand, and this is how goal setting, if you understand it, you can make it work for you. But with goal setting, here's what we understand. People, your people, I'm people, your people's people are people, your guest people, we all got people, right? People underestimate what they can do or what can be accomplished in 10 years and overestimate what they can do, what can be done in 1 year. So people underestimate what they can do in 10 years and overestimate what they can do in 1 year. So you're asking these questions. All right, what are you passionate about in the next 12 months? How much money you want to earn? How many hours can you work? How much time are you going to give yourself to accomplish this? Let's say they want to earn $250,000 working 5 hours a week in the next 6 months. They're going to give themselves 6 months to do it. Does that sound realistic? Working 5 hours a week, and let's say right now they earn 20 grand a year? No, so we need to make sure these things are properly aligned. But if they're like, hey, I'm going to put in 20 hours a week, I want to make an extra 50 grand a year, my first year, and I'm willing to give myself that proper amount of time to do it, great. Now we have someone based in reality. And this is something I like to remind my guests when I'm talking to them on the phone too, when we're asking about their goals. Did you know most people underestimate what they can do in 10 years? Okay, so now we're at our invitation. Now, what is it that we're actually inviting them to? There are many things to attend. What are we inviting them to? Well, first could be house tours or deal tours. Or we could invite them to the 4 and or 5 pillars, as we're transitioning over to the 5 pillars. Some of them are still working with 4 pillars, right? We used to call that the epic or the introduction. What about webinars? Hopefully you guys are using the webinar systems we've been putting together. We have the intensives. Now every quarter corporate will broadcast an intensive live for the whole nation, but then there's also going to be intensives in your area. Okay, I just got a question from Richard. He says, should I have separate Google numbers, one for my LLC and one for my marketing Renatus? I'm currently using my business LLC phone number for Renatus marketing. The goal, the easiest way to do this, Richard, is to just keep each phone number a separate ad source. Not necessarily a separate business, but a separate ad. So if you have phone numbers on your Craigslist ad and on your bandit signs, then how do you know which one's working? Some people will go, oh, well, I'll just ask them. Okay, but now when you ask them, now you just look like unorganized and unprofessional. So when I see this certain phone number ring, I know it's that ad that's working. When I see this other phone number ring, I know it's that ad that's working. So that's why I pick different numbers. Good question. Okay, so real quick, I'm going to write down the webinar systems that are working for us. Webinars. Here we go. Okay, so we got a couple. So we have, depending on what interest you want to create for people, we have interestreduction.com. That's a funny sentence I just made. Depending on what kind of angle you want to promote, you can send them to interestreduction.com. You can send them to 15minutewebinar.com. Now, these two webinars right here, there's no pitch. So you're still going to have to tell them what the product is and what the price is. But this just at least starts a conversation, okay? Maybe you got someone super skeptical, super standoffish, and yeah, you just start here. If you're like, hey, maybe it's someone that didn't answer an ad. Maybe they're just someone you met in the grocery store. Then interestreduction.com to start the conversation, okay? Here's the next webinar is going to be Epic Plan webinar.com. Then right after that, super easy one, follow-up webinar.com. And then we just made a new one. Before I give it to you, I'm gonna check, make sure it works. It's brand new. I wanna make sure it works. Loading, loading, loading. Oh yeah, baby. It's working. Up and running. New webinar, guys. You guys here on the line, great job. You're earning it. Updates, live, fresh in your face. This one is Best Earnings Plan.com. BestEarningsPlan.com. There we go. Super duper. Now, as they're moving through this information, they're going to get a quick little lesson, interestreduction.com. 15-minute webinars, an overview. Then they're going to see our plan. They're going to get into velocity banking. Then we're going to teach them who Renatus is, what we are, how much it costs. Follow webinars, how to pay for it. Best earnings plan is how to make money on our marketing team. Pretty sweet stuff. So capture those, take a screenshot of these, use them, and remember that you need to register your guests when you're doing this. Register your future students, register your candidates. Okay, register them either using what you're already using or on the Utah calendar on the Monday events, you can register your guests. Okay, we're just going to put that in here. Be sure to register guests. You guys are going to send out these links to your teammates, right? Register guests in Utah calendar on Mondays. Stay organized. Okay, so now we're inviting them. Now, at what point when you're inviting people through your process do people drop off? At what point do you see most people dropping off? Okay, Kevin's got a question. Do you reach out to those that don't leave a voicemail? Yes, all of them. All of them, every time, all of them. What happens a lot is people will just punch it in their phone and let it ring a half a time, then hang up just because they want to have it in their recent dials because they're still driving. So yeah, Kev, call back everyone. All right, so my question was, when do people drop off? And it's usually in between the 4 pillars and the follow-up, right? That's when most people fall off, stop answering the phones, whether they're watching a webinar or coming live, there's a drop-off. So what's happening? Here, there's no, you go watch them all day. You're not going to mess anything up. You're not going to screw up the funnel or the follow-up situation at all. Everyone can go watch these webinars. Go watch them, learn how to talk, learn how to sell, learn how to highlight things. Yes, use these webinars. If you think about it, that's 3.5 hours of me selling your customers on this stuff. So go use it. Obviously, live education or live meetings work way better. Okay, so what do we do in the drop-off? If we're trying to get them from one meeting to the next, to the next, to the next, and we get a drop-off. Well, if you have not gotten your filtering done in the ads, that's going to be a problem. If you don't know what they're interested in, that's also going to add to your drop-off ratio. If your invitation doesn't have proper expectations and some professionalism, you're going to have a drop-off. Okay, so using your stories is going to be incredibly helpful when it comes to preventing the drop-off. So here's what happens, right? So they come to the webinar or they come to the 5 pillars, and then for some reason they don't come to the follow-up. Well, what do we do? Where the heck do they go? Where do we take them? Well, there are some people who are looking for a team, a relationship, a coach, something. And yes, we offer those and we make a place for that. But some people want a personal touch. They want a personal touch. So a personal touch is something like a webinar, a screen share, like you turn on your camera, you open up your webinar, right? Camera on. Not today, not saying right now, but when you do your webinars, turn your camera on for them. Let them see your pretty face. Don't get wrapped up in what's in your background and how's my lighting and all this. It doesn't matter. Just turn your camera on and let them see your pretty face. Okay, so webinar screen shares is a huge way to do a personal touch. Another one is going to be like a lunch or a be fast. Giving them that sort of personal touch, okay? Not everyone needs it, but some people do. And that's usually when there's a drop-off. There's a lot of self-starters that they just come through the system on their own. They go get their money. They call you in a week and say, I'm ready to sign up. But then there's some people who want that personal touch. So offer the screen share, offer a lunch, offer coming over to their house, or you come over to their house, or them come over to yours. There's a lot of people who are in Renatus because I went to their house. Sometimes I drove an hour to get to their house. And there are a lot of people who've come over to my house. So if you're having the drop off and people aren't following up, it could be because I'm on the invitation to the proper expectations, but it could just be they're absolutely terrified and they're so scared to say they're scared. They're scared to say they're scared. So get out there, do a personal touch, help them with it. Now, something else is seriousness level. How serious are the people that you're working with? What? Okay, actually, let's stay on this this drop-off thing. Let's go over a checklist, because there's drop-off when they drop off if they're worth pursuing, and then there's the drop-off that we're like, okay, good, you just helped me out. So first thing on the checklist. This is our conversation checklist. At least make sure you're covering these parts in your conversation. That way, at the end of the day, if they still drop off, you go, you know what? They had a low IQ or something because I did my part. So first thing to have a conversation about, bring up in your conversation, is the work comparison. Right? Some people are like, well, I need to work. I want to work. I don't want to pay you to work. And right, they're not paying us to work. They're paying for the training. They just got to get to work. Marketing is free. If you think about it, it doesn't cost you anything to market. So get that clear in their heads and say, look, let's make sure when you're doing the work at your job or you're doing the work in your business, right? What is that comparison? And are you, do you have your proper expectations? Again, if someone's goal is to make $1 million working 1 hour a week, it's not going to make any sense. It doesn't work. Okay, so have that work comparison conversation. Okay. Then the next thing in your checklist, making sure you're moving people through the system, is have you shown them the funding options? Okay, let's talk about funding options and helping people understand the difference between resources versus resourcefulness. You might have resources, you might not. But if you have a resourceful mindset or resourceful attitude or resourceful way of being, then it's just like having resources. So going over the funding options and not just going over them, but you displaying confidence in the funding options. Okay. So the two main, well, let's go over the three. There are three main funding options, right? Number one is going to be personal resources. Number two is going to be get funded online. And then number three will be UGA. So if you're displaying confidence in the funding system, hey, don't worry about where your situation's at right now. We have the funding that can work for you. And then remember to tell a story. And have confidence in your funding options. Excuse me. Okay. Then Have you shown them the earnings plan? Right? Because sometimes people, they're answering the ad. They need to make money this week, next month because things are changing in their life. And then we go over real estate and we say, hey, it's going to take you 3 months to learn it. It's going to take you 3 months to do it. You're not going to get paid for 6 months in real estate. Then they go, dang it, this isn't for me. You say, whoa, hold on a sec. Let me show you the earnings plan. We got the best earnings plan. You want to start getting paid next week? Let's talk about it. Then in your conversation checklist, right, making sure we're moving through, helping people understand who we are, what we do, is I talk to them about their vision board, their goal setting process. Because you gotta help these people, man. They're gonna pay you if you actually help them. So we talk about a vision board. Hopefully you guys have your vision boards. Again, remember, they're calling because they don't have something. So you need to be giving them ideas, concepts, different things that are going to be valuable to them so that they actually open up their wallet and pay for it. Then, as I'm moving through with some people, they need an incentive. Now, this is as needed. You don't need to do this with every customer, but some people need an incentive. So sometimes I will tell them, they have the money. I know they can pay for a combo right now, but they're maybe a little hesitant. And I'll say, hey, if you pay for it right now, we will go next week, get some suits. Or next week, we'll go get you a new laptop. Or next week, we will get your LLC set up. It costs $500 over at Mark Kohler's office, $900, something like that. So I usually have an incentive that is $1,000 or less. Now, some of you guys might be spending $1,000 or more on your leads. And so you might change it to $500. But for me, most of my leads come from warm market, 3-foot rule, networking, certifying sales, that kind of stuff. So my leads are like $5 or free. Okay. So then I have this budget of my $10,000 revenue. How much am I going to give away to make sure the sale happens? Right? Sometimes I'll just pay for a year of Toastmasters for them. Say, hey, one of the skills you need is to be able to speak in public. I'm going to put you in a room where everyone's going to be on your side. They're going to cheer for you. They're going to help you. And they're going to want to know about Renatus. So there's also a room of leads. And I will pay for your membership for a year at Toastmasters. It's $100. You might get a $20,000 sale out of a $100 giveaway. But making sure that you're using all the tools and not giving up early. Did you talk about the comparison? Did you give them their funding options? Did you show them we can also get paid? Are we helping them with their goal setting? And is there an incentive to keep them moving forward? Okay, so I want to make sure you guys are putting in the right action. It's time for some of you to take more action. What does that action look like? So just, keep it simple. Action number one, well, I'm not going to put them in order or anything, but just actions. You have to put out your ads. So for me, we're putting out signs and we're attending networking events. Signs, events, and the next action item is pay time. Now we've talked about pay time on many webinars before, but we're going to go through the definition again. Make sure you guys are focused on it. Number 1 and number 2, there's only 2 ways to get paid time. First is on the phone. And the second is in front of future students. On the phone or in front of future students. That's pay time. Putting out ads isn't pay time. Returning emails isn't pay time. Attending events, unless you have a guest, isn't pay time either. Okay, another action thing I want you guys to do, if you're not doing right now, is document your action. See, some of you are fooling yourself. You're thinking about action, but you're not actually acting, so you're fooling yourself. So document your action, show people. And then affirmations. We talked about this all weekend. I mean, here in New York, we talked about this all weekend. Affirmations. Okay, and then that's going to be, what's going to help is your vision board or your goal sheet. I also want you to be affirming that you're a powerful leader. I want you to be affirming that you're a great money manager. Okay, some of you are like, oh, I'm no good with money. I'm no good with numbers. I'm no good with names. I'm no good with this. I'm no good with that. And you're affirming this stuff in the negative. So let's affirm it in the positive. You're a good money manager. You're confident. Confident. Okay, so we're taking some action in that world. So we've talked about let me go into this idea with the comp plan one more time. I'm gonna expand on this a little bit more, this earnings plan, and making sure we're giving people a proper understanding of its power, okay? If you need to just draw this out in a simple way for people, and yes, there's the essentials, yes, there's the advanced, but we talk about combos in this world, okay? So we're talking about combos. When people at the very beginning, your first conversation, when you asked them why, what got them interested, right? You wrote down their reason. Now we can circle back to that and say, look, right now you have this goal, but you're not getting any closer to it. We can definitely help. And really what you need to help is money. So would you be willing to put 10 years into a business to become a multimillionaire and never need a job again? Okay, this confidence sells. So would you be willing to work, let's say in 5 years, and you were to go start building a team? Okay, and each of these people, right, let's say this one puts down their 20 grand, and this one puts down 20 grand. Maybe this one only puts down $2,000. This one puts down 20 grand. This person only puts down $400, and this one puts down 20 grand. Okay, so now what's pretty cool for you to understand is this person and this person in the next 6 to 12 months is also going to be putting in their 20 grand. Okay. So really the whole idea is consistency. If you're willing to put in this amount of time, we start finding people, eventually the paychecks start to add up. So if you haven't shown someone the comp plan, this is this is probably one reason why they're dropping off. You didn't show them the compensation plan. Now, with the caveat, understand if they answered a real estate ad and you started on the compensation plan, you have an uphill battle because that's not what they answered. Okay. So if they answered a real estate ad, you showed them a bunch of real estate, they got scared with the price, you must show them the compensation plan, the earnings plan, so that they can get over that obstacle they created and see how they can make more money. At the end of the day, they just want to make more money. So we talked about how when we're looking for a balance in our business, right? We want to balance. But what does this balance actually mean? Balance doesn't mean 50-50. Just so you guys know, it does not mean 50-50. Okay, think about if you had a balanced schedule with activity and sleep, then you would sleep 12 hours a day and be up 12 hours a day. That's not how we're gonna live life, and we're gonna skip life doing that. Well, what about balancing financially? Right, half the time you're in the negative, half the time you're in the positive. Or what about balancing with time management, with work and play? Do we want 50% work, 50% play? No, we want 95% play, right? So trying to achieve balance is going to confuse you. It's going to confuse your brain. You're like, how do I balance all of this? There's no balance. We want extremes. We want extremes. We want extreme amounts of money. We want extreme playtime. We want extreme confidence. We want extreme physical health, right? So making sure we're not going for a balance is not going to equate to, it's not logical. Okay. Now, what's going to help you guys with all this? What all of this is doing, this whole thing, all of this, what we're doing with someone as we're moving them through this system and explaining these concepts to them is frame control. This is really what we're doing. We're doing frame control. So I would highly recommend you guys check out a book called Pitch Anything. Okay, frame control is what we're working on. The book is called Pitch Anything. Okay, some of you have already been in sales before, then you come here and you think it's harder because it's a higher price, or you think it's harder because it's an intangible. But that's not the case at all. If you understand frame control, you can pitch anything. So we have just a few minutes before I need to hop onto the PAT call. I want to make sure that you guys are getting a clear vision. You can take the action needed to start moving people through this funnel. We want to hear how these things are working for you, letting us know about the webinars, the feedback on, where your guests are dropping off. This is important stuff to track. Okay. So before we sign off, let's hear some questions, comments, ideas, clarifications. Oh, here they are. At what point should I stop contacting someone if they haven't replied to any voicemails or texts? This prospect has been learning real estate on his own, seems to really want to do it, but I cannot get in touch with him. Well, Richard, how does it seem like he wants to do it? On one hand, he doesn't want to talk to you. How do you know he wants to do it? So help me understand that. Rabbi, what's up? Oh, dang it. I saw your message a little late. Okay, Jason. It's not that hard. Used to sell $50,000 coaching programs to people over the phone. Nothing close to the value of Renatus. People only buy when value exceeds price. That's it. So we have to show them, right, their understanding of value and price, right? When they see Renatus, this is what they think. They think, here's the price, and here's the value. But if we show them the velocity banking, and then we show them tax savings, and then we show them teamwork, and then we show them the earnings plan, And then we show them retirement account investing, and we show them lifetime membership, and we show them Helios, and we show them BBB and A+, and we show them 50 classes and practitioner instructors, and we show them live education, and we show them team support. Now the value is so enormous compared to the price, they'll buy. But you're right, we got to have that price to value comparison. So keep following up. Okay, there you go. Richard, scrolling to the top for you. All right, Simone. Did you see I got 2 essentials? Yeah. So Simone spent a couple days with us in Denver, learned our system, had a paradigm shift around the value that she could bring to the table. And she is changing her life. She's got her son involved. He's getting excited about this stuff. The business went from her head to her heart, and she's actually now enjoying the process of selling instead of just. So congrats, Simone. We're proud of you. That is awesome. Yeah, guys, we're doing it. It's getting better every day. Company's getting stronger. Classes more and more. We're getting recognized in more and more publications for the value that we're bringing to people. So it's working, baby. That's right. It's working. So will you guys also, moving forward, will you start to use hashtag it's working in all of your posts? Because what we'll be able to do at meetings or, you know, at your lunch or whatever, you're talking to people and they want to know it's working. How do I know this works? Dude, open up Instagram, open up Facebook and type in hashtag it's working. And they will see everything that we're doing. So use hashtag it's working. I want to use it. I want to be able to pull it up and say, you see these 100 posts right here? These are all Renatus. It's working. Also, hashtagging Renatus Rocks will help. It's working. Hashtag Renatus Rocks. Awesome. Okay, guys. Have a powerful day. It's Money Monday. It's up to you. It's a big deal. Take it seriously. Don't take it for granted. Do your best. Sharing is caring. We'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.